pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New York Jets. Hi again, everyone. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you look at this Jets ball club. It's an early test here after 2 losses to start the season, and a game they probably really need.
Obviously, no way do they want to get to 0-3. Not many teams make the playoffs with that kind of a start.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Steelers, they come in at an early crossroads here, facing a tough opponent on the road where a loss would make them 0-3.
And when you start that way, doubts really start to creep into a locker room, and guys start to battle each other instead of worrying about winning games.
So now here comes the Jet offense as they get ready to take over. They'll be led out by their quarterback, the guy out of California, the former Cal Bear, Jared Goff.
And I saw that he had an interesting quote in the research packet that we had after last week's game. It's all on me now. I've got to lead my team and find a way for us to win a game. 0-2, but they're at home. I guess he's going to try and find a way to get the home crowd involved early.
Now a play fake here on first down. The catch is made by Kendall Wright. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. 23 yards on the play.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Now a first carry for Isaiah Crowell. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Only a yard on the pickup there, so it leaves them needing a conversion here on 3rd and a tough 9.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. He's going to air one out. And that's caught at the 25. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. That little arc on it, he's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
The numbers for Crowell in last week's game. 15 carries, 79 yards, and a touchdown.
I can't remember the last time we did a game and a coach didn't talk about establishing the run first. But they've lost 2 straight games, so they still want to do that, but they've got to have some contingencies, some other options. Expect them maybe to throw it a little bit to open up things and maybe run it a little bit more later in the game.
Left side, caught by Matthews. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. His first catch there, good for 10 yards and a first down. Well, they're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help. Because you remember when we sat in the production meeting with them to talk about this. And, hey, you know, you guys didn't come out of the gate. I know I offered my help with a few plays, and they didn't seem to want it.
I didn't offer mine.
You know, you were the smart one. Whatever they're doing, though, it's working really well.
The full start backs them up 5, 1st and 15. After the penalty, it's Crowell. And just a couple yards there down to the 17.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
Here's Goff now on 2nd down. Complete outright to Kurz. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. Eighth play of this opening drive coming up. This is third down. Gone. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
So instead of forcing the field goal, it'll be first and goal.
Yeah, the force was trying to make something happen that just didn't need to, right? I mean, the plays happen, let it go. It's over. Instead, it creates a penalty.
So a critical mistake, roughing the passer. Now it's first and goal. A shotgun snap for Goff. And it's caught. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. 3 yards is the gain that time, second and goal.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's second and goal. They'll try and punch it in with Crowell. And he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further. It'll go as no gain on the play, and now they're looking at a third and goal. Driven it down the field nicely here on the opening drive, but now it's put up or shut up.
No doubt about it, because to make that type of a drive and ultimately kick a field goal would feel very disappointing. But I'm just wondering, is the head coach thinking, is this 4-down territory? Might he go for it?
Now Goff on third and goal. Got a man, it's caught. Touchdown, Jets. As his guys are in for 6. And the Jets take the ball down the field and score on their opening drive. And this is a crew, they've come out flat their last 2 games, both losses, but just judging by the energy level, they look different here early, and that touchdown shows how.
Yeah, it seems to me that touchdown gets them off the treadmill. Because, you know, you've been on the treadmill. I've seen you work out. You go forever and ever, and it tells you've gone somewhere, but you're really out here in the same spot. They've exchanged it for an escalator. Still got some hills to climb, but they can get there.
These are good analogies. I run outside sometimes, though. You know, get some fresh air, a little sun on your face.
A little wind in there.
Yeah, that's right. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 27. Here's the first carry for LaShawn McCoy. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. On second down, it's McCoy. And some room to maneuver. And he's going to get about 7 yards on that one, up to around the 33.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Here's Roethlisberger. And he'll check this one down to McCoy. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
Avery Williamson there to make the stop.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now they'll run it on the toss. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and put the defense back on its heels.
So in jet territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line.
Easy. Middle.
This give is to McCoy. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Well, usually you don't think of the cornerback coming in for a no-gain play, but that's what we had there. Nice tackle.
And how about the range, too? Coming from the outside part of the play, moving his way into the inside and making that play happen. No gain for the offense, big play for the defense.
This will be caught by Brown. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've hit the end of quarter 1. 7-0 is our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this. Back with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's Steeler football to begin quarter number 2. They're on the march, but facing a 3rd down here. Now it's Roethlisberger. He completes it to Bryant. A Steeler 1st down, Roethlisberger to Bryant.
Plenty of things to talk about here, partner, but to me, their defense gave up a touchdown on the first drive. How about how they're responding, coming back? That's a big 3rd down pickup to keep their drive alive.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Time. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
On 3rd down, Roethlisberger throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches. And they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Now a 1st down carry here for McCoy. And they'll lose yardage here. They go backwards to the 13-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Wow, that play got shut down in a hurry.
As soon as the snap came, you could see defensively they were just closing in. That was going nowhere.
Yeah, you count on your offensive line to give you a little bit of space, a little bit of time so you can make a move. There was none there for him.
And he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
And the Steelers on third down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This is 3rd and 8. To throw here, Roethlisberger. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Everson Griffin in there to get him for a loss of 9, and that'll lead to 4th down.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
A few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. So it's an empty trip downfield there as they get a missed field goal on 4th down.
And I didn't see anything in the setup. It's a good snap, good hold.
Yep.
He just pushed it, and that one never wanted to come back.
Now a first down throw, gone. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. That one goes for 36 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
They go play action here on first down. Oh, he's got him in wide open, complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. The Jet passing game in rhythm. They've got another first.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. This carry with the extra effort is going to get him stopped up just shy of the 10. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Goff now looks to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
Well, they were unable to make anything really big out of that, but it's not a bad idea to find your tight end and give him an easy completion and keep moving things forward. Almost his bread and butter is a good running back dive play.
A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. They lost 2, and it brings up 4th. Now the Steelers put a stop to the action with a timeout defensively, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So here's the kicker, Caleb Sturgis, on to try the field goal. And Sturgis able to knock it through, and the lead moves to 10-zip. So they've put together a good little drive there, but ultimately stalling out in the red zone.
Yeah, I know a lot of people look at it as a little bit of a negative. They didn't get 6 points out of it, right? Didn't get the touchdown. But that's actually okay. They got 3 points, able to give their defense a little bit of rest, let them settle down over there. So all in all, to me, that's a good drive.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. Now, they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team, because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. Well, let's face it, we've been there, we've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. And
he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. LaShawn McCoy, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Steelers get the quick strike touchdown. They blitzed defensively there, but he was able to slip through that first layer, and then he was gone.
I think they won the leverage game, didn't they?
Yes.
Right? They saw the blitz coming. That got to him a little bit, but they leveraged it perfectly and found not just a crease, a gigantic hole. And off he goes, and he's still going all the way to the end zone.
Dustin Hopkins on now to add the extra point. Hopkins with the extra point, and that'll cut it to 3 at 10-7. Well, I'm not sure if they drew that play up to score, but it scored indeed. One play on the ground and into the end zone for 6. Here's Hopkins now out to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Getting set to go again here on offense, Jared Goff trots back onto the field. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes. But right now, he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the second quarter. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. A first down screen pass, good for 5.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass, looked like it was coming together, looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Here's Goff. And right with it here, over the middle. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Goff. The grab made by Curse over the middle. Now before the second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. To the air again. Goff. Wide open receiver complete. Now the Jets going to use the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. So the offensive unit called the TO, and now we are ready to resume play. Goff in the offense with a 1st and 10, and he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. Again, Goff. He goes underneath for Yeldon. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and that'll make this a 2nd down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. Throwing again is Goff. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. The Jets on 3rd down. They've been good. 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Goff throwing again. He's got Curse. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. And they're able to convert on third with a solid gain of 23.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
I used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands.
And this will be caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Jets. Tyler Higbee in the final seconds of the first half. And the Jets find a way to stretch their lead.
That's one of the better examples of clock management I've seen. Whittled it all the way down just about and still put the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, just a methodical drive and something really to take into the lockers
defense.
here. And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Likely time for one final snap as they start out 1st and 10. Final play of the half. It's Roethlisberger trying to lay one up deep. And this one is incomplete. So we've hit halftime here at MetLife Stadium with the home team, the Jets, leading this one. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks. And welcome in everybody to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Time for a look around.
And we will skip the highlight show this week. Get right back to this Week 3 matchup. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. Fielded about a yard deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Steeler offense now with the football first here to begin the third quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is
I'm
doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. They'll pitch it out to McCoy. Spinning away. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards.
Outside handoff to the right side. If you're a running back, you love getting the ball early so you have vision to see what's happening in front of you.
Right tackle likes that call. Big play for him. But don't forget about the guys you always tell me on the backside sealing off.
When they talk about cutoff blocks, making sure no one can leak from the backside that can run a play down.
And nobody leaked. Big play. Roethlisberger will throw. It's complete to Brown, right side. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Now they'll try and run the sweep to McCoy. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And the Jets have recovered.
It's not often that we see big plays end in disaster, and we just absolutely saw it right there. They had something really big cooking on that one.
Can you, when you're down near the goal line like that on a big play, do you get maybe a little too careless, a little too desperate for the goal line?
I think the last part is exactly right. You get desperate for the goal line, and sometimes you get the ball out ahead, away from your body, or you're trying to extend to get there, or maybe you're just trying so hard that the ball will come out of your hands. In any event, that's a big opportunity lost. It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more heavy.
And he's into the clear. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. The 20. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Jared Goff with his third touchdown pass of the afternoon. And the Jets are going to add on to their lead. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
Sturgis adds the PAT, and that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. This fielded at the 2. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Out comes the Steeler offense now, ready to see what they can do here. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
They're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. Second and 10 now. It's Roethlisberger. Bryant with a catch right side. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A very solid gain of 27. So in Jet territory now. Here's first and 10 at the 44-yard line. Right side complete. That's Woods. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. They go play action with Roethlisberger. Going deep here for Bryant. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary can really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
Ben to throw again. Benjamin with it over the middle. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th. They're going on 4th down. It's Roethlisberger. It's complete. Swings it out to his running back. And he's able to pick up the first before he's taken down at the 27. They're able to keep the drive alive, 7 yards that time, and the decision to go for it proves to be a good one. Roethlisberger now, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. First and 10. To throw again is Roethlisberger. James has got it, complete. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. The passing game in rhythm right now for Pittsburgh. There's another first down.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
From the red zone now, here's Roethlisberger on first down. Got him in, it's Brown. And they're going to lose some on this play. Being knocked back to the 18. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. Again, it's Roethlisberger. And this is caught. It's Bryant, and it's a Steeler touchdown. Martavis Bryant, his second touchdown on the season. And the Steelers are able to cut into that deficit. On is Hopkins now for the extra point. That's one of those long drives where not only do you score, but you really tire out the defense, too.
That's a great point because now they've been on the field for a long time. Them going to the bench, trying to make adjustments, trying to figure things out, but they'll do so fatigued.
Here's Hopkins now out to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. New York set to take the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down. Stephon Tuitt in there to sack him for a loss of 6. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result?
Sack.
Quarterback gets hit.
On second down, here's Yeldon. And he'll take this one up to about the 23. 5 yards gets him back near the original line of scrimmage as they'll be left with a 3rd and long. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Throwing on 3rd. Goff. Got his man complete over the middle. That's right. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. Getting set to go again, Ben Roethlisberger marches onto the field. He's been pretty solid, pretty consistent, just the one touchdown pass, but I think he's managed the game well, no?
I would agree with you, and that's what you're looking for out of your field leader, making sure that you're playing well and not making any big mistakes. Oftentimes, that's how you're judged. How big a mistake and when it occurs. No interception so far. They'll like that.
I just want you to know that you agreeing with me, that's going to get me through this 3rd and 4th quarter. Are you touched? He's patting his heart, boys and girls. He's touched.
Respect.
And a nice gain of 21 yards. On 1st and 10, it's Roethlisberger. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another 1st down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. With the tight end drag route.
Back now here on EA Sports. It's the Steelers with the football, but trailing here as we get going in quarter number 4. They'll throw on 1st down with Roethlisberger. And he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30. Everson Griffin in there to sack him for a loss of 6. Well, they were coming out of the 4-3 defensively. Pressure coming off that right side from the DL.
And that's the blind side of most quarterbacks. If you're right-handed, that's the side you don't see quite as well. And that's why you rely on your left tackle, maybe your highest-paid offensive lineman, to take care of you. In this situation, that didn't happen.
And Bryant's got it over the middle. And down inside the 15 he goes. The passing game in rhythm right now for Pittsburgh. There's another 1st down. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height, sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has to slide and find open space to throw. How about that shuffle pass? Or if you want to call it the shovel pass, that's fine too. That's one of those plays that you take a little bit of risk there because you're trying to throw the ball into the middle of the field where a lot of big bodies lurk.
And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. LaShawn McCoy with his second touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Steelers are able to make this a close game again. Nice execution there. Good job by the O-line getting him in for the second time.
And you always have to start with credit there when you're having a big game. I mean, you don't get there by yourself. That's rare. But how about the ability to see the proper holes, pick the proper place to go, and find his way into the end zone?
They'll try and run it with McCoy. And he will find the end zone again. So he gets the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. And that'll cut this deficit down a little bit further. Here's Hopkins now out to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. New York set to take the field. Now, the previous drive they punted, but that was just the first time they've had to do so in this game.
And when they turn on the game film, the coaches will rant about this, right? They'll say, oh, God, we got to move the ball, guys. We can't punt the ball away. But they have to keep smiles off their faces because that's the first time in the game they've had to do so. They've moved it quite well. They'll overall be happy with what they've seen.
Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. They'll start out on the ground. It's T.J. Yeldon. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31.
But Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 23 yards on the play. This is something you got to be wary of defensively. I mean, just because they're in the mode of trying to burn some clock doesn't mean they won't pass it, and they got good yardage out of that one.
Yeah, and really, when you're looking at it, now they've got a fresh set of downs. Look for second down if they want to take another shot and try and loosen things up. That'd be the time to do it.
And he stopped immediately there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. And in this situation with the lead, fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that load in the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
Now the Steelers put a stop to the action with a timeout defensively. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. They'll fake the give. Now Goff. Airs this out for Matthews. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a fourth down.
There's definitely contact there, but it's the fourth quarter of a kind of tight game, and sometimes the officials just say, let them play. Kind of like your mom used to with you and your brothers. Just take the broom to you and send you out to the backyard and tell you to settle yourselves.
I like that, yeah. There was contact. I don't know, like you said, enough to warrant the flag. It was close, though. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. Well, things are starting to move in the right direction. They get the touchdown last drive, then their defense gets them the football back.
Yeah, now they have a chance to get the lead if they can put something together here. And I'm eager to see how they decide to do it. Do they want to be methodical, or do they want to take the big strike and go after it right now?
They'll start the drive with a carry by McCoy. Nice footwork by McCoy. 16 yards right off the bat and a first down.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. On 1st down, it's Roethlisberger. But the Jets pressure too much as down he goes. Everson Griffin in there for a milestone sack as it moves him past Hall of Famer Lawrence Taylor, who finished his career with 132.5. On 2nd down, here's Roethlisberger. Under pressure again, and down he goes again.
One thing that I liked about this guy during the draft process was his motor. Of course, I loved his skills, but he plays hard on every down.
And that motor on full display there as he gets his first NFL sack. So the sack, and now a 3rd and long situation for the Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off around the 37. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
After the interception, here's Goff. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. And this defense here going to burn their 2nd timeout. But you can also factor in another timeout that they'll get when the clock stops at the 2-minute warning. Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get it down inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. It'll be a gain of about 5, but they're left with a 3rd and still about 12 to go. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. So it's Jets football as we get you reset here. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. They keep it on the ground. This time it's Crowell. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
And Sturgis able to knock it through, and that will add 3 more to their lead. It pushes it up to 6. So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. Here comes Ben Roethlisberger and the Steeler offense back onto the field. This is something we've seen many times over the course of his career. Can he pull off another 4th quarter comeback?
And it's very strange, isn't it? Because when it's a player of this magnitude, even if the guys on defense have the lead and are sitting in the best spot, they're maybe the most nervous people in the stadium because they've seen this happen to too many people before, too many teams. They've got to find a way to shut him down.
Here we go again for the grizzled vet. He's back to throw. He's got the hook up here to Deshaun Jackson. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. The Steelers picking up 15 yards there at a 1st down. Big Ben has the knowledge, certainly the weapons to pull this off. We know he's done it many times in the past.
And that transmits itself to the rest of the offensive unit because these guys know that with Big Ben leading them, they've got a lot of confidence they can get it done.
Back to throw. This will be caught by Brown. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. Now the Steelers hustling up to the line of scrimmage. Back to throw. Going to throw right side here. Complete. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. Well, this is how you shake the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row, I'm going to stay confident, keep flinging it. I just figured there's something wrong with the football.
And the Steelers on third down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This time it's 3rd and 3. And they're out of timeouts, remember, so this is going to have to be a delay.
Delay of game, offense.
So that'll back him up 5.
Still 3rd down.
And the delay of game penalty makes this much more difficult. 3rd and 8. He'll look to throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Marcus May with a pick. And a great return as he gets this all the way down close to the 30-yard line.
And that one, it's going to hurt big time. You're in the 2-minute drill trying to get your guys down the field, and it's looking like they're going to go up just short, as this is definitely not his best throw. And it'll wind up being intercepted.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They go down to a knee and a sigh of relief as they are into the win column for the first time this year. And you know they enjoyed taking that knee because they're now going to be 1-2 instead of 0-3. And psychologically, that's a big difference early in the season.
It certainly is. It's a big barrier breaker because you get to 0-3, you're not thinking playoffs. At 1-2, you still believe that you're going to be a playoff team.
Yeah, you feel you got some hope on your side. 0-3, things start to look pretty bleak. And Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for the Jets, they're into the win column now as they move to 1-2 on the young season. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Arizona Cardinals. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, the early struggles continue as they'll sink to 0-3. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Houston Texans. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.